Welcome to the 98% podcast where we hear real stories from real people. And I'm here with Javi. So, Javi, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, not much. 30, what, 3 now. I have a son, a girlfriend, and I used to coach some little league, and yeah, no, I'm ready to get into this.
Wait, it's funny that you had to think about it. I did the same thing. Once I hit 30, I kept forgetting how old I was. And I would just I'd have to ponder for a little bit and then
Oh,
I'd
no.
get there.
I was so embarrassed. I was like, wait, hold on, 92, 20. I was
Oh,
like, wow, like, dang, like, that age really catches up to you after 30, I realized. Like, you kind of
yeah.
keep losing track or don't keep it online.
Yeah, I did the same thing with my parents. I remember being a kid, and once they hit 30, I just forgot how old they were. And even now, people are like, how old are your parents? I'm like, 50 something. I'm not sure.
That yeah, the approximate age, give or take 5 years, right?
Exactly, exactly. Okay, cool. So, how do you know me?
I know you through work. We work at Prosco together, and you came on as our, I think, training and development guy, and so far you've been awesome.
Oh, thank you. That's sweet of you.
Hey, of course, anytime.
Love it. Yeah. Yeah, I remember I remember first time meeting you, and it was funny because you had this man, what's the word? Like you were very bubbly and outgoing, and it's pretty funny. So it's cool to meet someone who's like that, like down and optimistic and stuff like that. So that's what the first thing I noticed about you when I met you.
No, of course, thank you, and like I hope you like kind of realize in your trainings too people like don't really seem to speak up a whole lot sometimes. So I try to be that person because I know how much that awkward silence, whether like you as the speaker may not like consider that, but like in the audience, that awkward silence is kind of like, okay, someone like people want to say stuff. Let me be that guy to like try to engage everybody else.
Dude, I appreciate that because that's like a facilitator's dream is to have someone that'll answer questions because it's like that all the time. It's funny when you do training, you'll notice that people, I don't know if people just get shy, but like you'll ask a question and I'm used to like sometimes we'll have a lot of engagement, sometimes we'll have a little engagement. It just depends. But at the end of the day, like as a facilitator, you get comfortable with silence. So I would say I might be too comfortable with silence sometimes, where I'll just ask a question, I'll just wait around for a bit, someone to answer, and it is what it is. But I like that you do that. I always appreciate that.
Hey, definitely anytime, man. I understand.
Sweet. Okay. So how this works, Javi, is I gave you the questions ahead of time so you can look over them as much as you want. But the whole goal of this is just for you to connect with the audience and hopefully that they can, maybe relate to some of your stories or just those connection pieces that you might deliver to us. So we'll start with the first question is, what was growing up like for you?
Growing up was good. I mean, I'm sure like that's what most people say,
Yeah.
but I grew up in Lawrence, Kansas, um, home of the Jayhawks, Rock Chalk, and growing up in a college town, knowing now how other college towns are, KU's actually kind of small with their like outside scene. But growing up for me, it was good. My parents maintained job. My dad owned a restaurant for most of the time. My mom worked for the school district. Um, so yeah, I mean, grew up with a great education. Went to some good schools down there. Eventually went to Emporia State. So growing up, I mean, I couldn't really complain too much. I was hard headed at times, you could say.
Uh-huh.
But you know who isn't? Yeah, no, it definitely shaped me to who I am today. And growing up in Lawrence, Kansas was definitely a blessing.
Yeah. So define hard-headed for us.
Um, one time, like I don't know about hard headed, but I just like went against rules. I'll give it to you. My parents like just randomly had like let me know my dad through his company like won hotel night evening. So I let people know after class, and eventually it became like party at hobbies. And I mean, I was completely okay with it. I didn't mind it. Like my parents had a basement, unfinished too. So I was like, all right, we can all hang out there. It'll be great. You know how quickly something like that in high school can spread. So it started with like as just spread like a wildfire. My original basement party turned into my basement and main floor at my parents' house. And yeah, I mean, I knew I wasn't supposed to do it, but did I still do it? Yes. Like, I don't know if like part of it was like, can I get away with this? But I guess not, I don't know if hard headed was it, like I said, but maybe pushed the envelope of how much I could get away with. Um, but yeah, that was my big one. And like, I had my siblings over and I kind of like had them hide upstairs, go like to the like upstairs into their rooms, my parents' room, watch TV. And eventually they made their way down, and nothing happened or nothing, but everybody loved seeing my sister. My sister was young at the time, and all the high school girls like, "Oh my god, you have a sister!" They just it was funny,
Funny. So you were the
but that's
party
what I
kid,
meant
huh?
by kind of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were the party kid?
I was, yeah, and um, yeah,
Yeah.
I,
That's,
I would try to find it. But then too, I'm also a gamer,
okay.
so I did have those nights out growing up and just in general. But I also love a good night in playing video games and just doing nothing.
Got it. Okay. Cool. It's funny. I was not the party kid actually. I like never went to a party.
Okay.
But what's funny, I just didn't want to for some reason. But I used to have people come over from time to time, but my parties probably looked a lot different. There was like no alcohol involved, and it was just us doing ridiculous things. Like I remember wrestling matches, anything you could think of that was just physical and fun. We would do for sure.
That's how like me and my best friends were like outside of like that area of me
Hmm.
when it would just be like me and my best friends doing like a sleepover. That's exactly what we would do.
Hmm.
I remember as you say that like roughhousing and stuff. We'd jump through my friend's parents' window onto like all of their cushion or it was in the basement, so like like
Yeah.
it's all right there, but we'd put all of their pillow cushions on the floor and just jump on it. So it's just like
Yeah.
crazy roughhouse and things like that. I completely understand that. It's great.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, we used to do that too. We used to just create like random games that we just found fun. There's two of them I can think of that are really funny. One of them was we called it the secret box. And what you do is you take all the couch cushions and you'd create a box and you'd sit inside of it. And then we covered it with a blanket so you couldn't see. And the whole goal was like for us just to crash it, but you not know when it's going to happen. So you'd sit in this box and it's like pitch black and you're just waiting. And sometimes people would tackle it right away. Sometimes we'd wait a minute and it was just like this suspense thing. But for some weird reason, like there was a couple friends that was like their game when we'd come over, they'd be like, okay, we're going to play secret box, right? It's like, sure, let's do it. So,
That's awesome, man. Like, I've heard this from a couple people. I don't know if you've ever done it. We would have sleeping bags, and you just like lay down the stairs in them, and
hmm.
you just go in the sleeping bag, like going in, and just
Yeah.
ooh,
Yep.
like your own little
Dude.
slide or
Yeah, we do that all the time. We had the perfect house to do it too. We had this big staircase when I was younger, and it was carpeted stairs, so you just slid real good, and it didn't hurt to fall out of it. And we would do all types of stuff. We do that. We'd take the laundry basket down there. Sometimes we were really young. That wasn't that wasn't always successful. So, sometimes we'd flip out of it, but it was good.
A
It was a
little
good
stupid.
time. Exactly. Love that. Okay, so when you were growing up, did you do any sports or anything?
I did. I played football from junior high through high school. I did tennis junior high through high school, and then some track. And I'll just say I never was good enough to make the basketball team, but I was good enough to be on an intramural team.
There we go. Okay, so what events did you do in track?
I did the 100, um, 300-meter hurdles, and long jump. And I wasn't really good at any of those.
Dude, that's sweet though. Okay, because that's what I did in track. I did 110 and 300-meter hurdles, and then yeah, long jump and triple jump.
The 110 hurdles were a little too tall for me.
Yeah.
I remember going to like I was my first year doing track, and I had like there was a hurdle coach. They're like, "Who wants to try hurdles?" And I was like, "Screw it, why not?" Right?
Yeah.
And like went up to the 110 hurdle. It was like up to here on me because
Yep.
I'm not tall. I'm 5'5" for people out there. And so when I went up, I was like, "This is like half of me. I'm gonna have to stop and like
Yeah.
get like sway my whole body if I'm gonna do this." And then so the 300 hurdles were the next, and I don't know if I would consider myself successful, but I finished.
Hey, that's what matters. See,
Exactly.
I like that attitude. It's funny that you're just like, why not? Let's do it. For the viewers out there, that's exactly how it was with this podcast too. Because it's funny because like I ask people, and sometimes I got to be like, it's going to be good. Like I got to kind of like influence them or convince them a little bit to do it. And for you, it's like, you want to do the podcast? Yep. Oh, sweet. Okay, cool. When do you want to do it? You want to do it next week? Yep. Sweet. Why not? And I was like, that's great. I love that personality.
I really do like that's the one quality about me I like the most. It's like the yes man personality. Like I don't want to miss out on an opportunity or anything because of. I mean, there was no like constraints for this. Like if I don't have any, like why not try it? This could
Yeah.
either be the number one pro scope view or I could just be right there with everybody else, which is fine too. But
Yeah.
I had told you we're going for the most views here.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, so listeners out there, that's what we're doing. We're trying to beat so we had John, we had Ryan, and we had Nick. So all of those I don't remember the episode numbers, otherwise I would tell everybody right now. But don't remember, but yeah, that's the goal. Javi's goal was like we're gonna beat viewership on all those. So
Number
yeah.
one.
Yeah, view, like, subscribe, do whatever you need to do. We'll plug it so you can try to win and I'll keep stats on it.
Exactly. I like it. I like it. At
Yeah.
the national sales meeting, we'll have our own little like awards ceremony.
We'll have a segment of yeah, most
I think that
podcast
would be
views.
great. Wouldn't that
Hey,
be
there
hilarious?
that would be sweet. That would be sweet because still have a few people on the pipeline or down the pipeline that are going to do it. So yeah, if we could just cycle through everybody, check viewership, yeah, why not? That'd be
That'd be
fun.
awesome. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm down. Okay, so next question. So what's the biggest struggle that you made it through?
When you sent me that question, I really did think a lot about it. And I think the biggest struggle that I was most happy to make it through, um, it was my, after maybe my what was going to be my junior year in college. I couldn't find anyone to live with. So, and I didn't want to live in the villas. The villas was this apartment complex that it could put you into a random room. You shared like a communal space, but each of you had your individual rooms.
Yeah.
I just didn't like that idea. So I decided to try to move into the dorms, um, the older dorms, and just see how that was like. Well, that all went fine, moving and everything, but there's an issue with FAFSA, somehow financial aid, where it didn't cover the complete cost of me living in the dorms.
Mm,
So I had an out of pocket expense I needed to pay by a certain time, which I was not able to at the time. So I had to drop out and work, which wasn't an issue. I was working through college anyways, but it was my dropping out of college is what felt most demeaning to me. I grew up in the mindset of you need to go to a 4 year college, get a degree, and then you survive or thrive, you know? I mean, you do it. Which now, if I could have gone to a technical college or anything, I might have done that. Um, but so I had to drop out of college. I had to let my boss know, and I kind of had to go up to him and very vulnerable, which I don't like being. And I had to ask, like, hey, I need to quit, or can you help me find housing affordable with the income you give me? You know, he's my boss. He knows
mhm.
what I get make. And he did actually help me out through that. He liked me as an
Mm,
employee. He was able to find me housing where he worked with my landlord, I guess, and was made it so that I could live okay off of what I was making there and or what I would be making there because I would be working more, along with being able to pay rent. Um, so again, my mindset was like, well, like I need to get back to school. It took a year because I'm not gonna lie, I like that semester off. The semester off felt nice. Um, and so, but I went back after a year, had my, when I went back after that year, that first semester was the best semester I've ever had. I felt motivated. I was actually excited to get back into school, which for some people you may not completely hear, but when I dropped out, I wasn't sure if I was ever going to actually finish college or not. And I was able to overcome that and graduate from Emporia State.
Nice. Okay. So, what do you feel like that experience did for you?
It grew me as a person. Um, right here in my arm, I actually have tatted ambition,
Hmm.
and I kind of like that's the little extra motivation it gave me. Like I always wanted to finish college, go to a 4 year school, get my degree in whatever it was. I did business management, and just kind of getting that kind of just helped me get through the days like that. New like the main reason I got that was to finish college. And so without it, if without doing that, getting this would be kind of pointless. And so I wanted, thought that meant something to me. It just grew me as a person, and that was one of the hardest things I went through. So when challenges come, I know it's just take it step by step. It may not be in your original timeline. You think you'll accomplish something, but you can do it for sure. Um, I'm not the smartest. I mean, not the tallest, but I'm not the best at anything. I'm not. But you can do it. I mean, just got to put your mind to it.
I like that. That's motivating.
It is. It is. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I can imagine. So I went through, see, I never went through a stage where I had to figure out housing and stuff, but I did go through situations where, yeah, I didn't have any money. And it's interesting how it's like that it's a big factor, right? It plays with your mental health, your emotional health. It's an interesting thing for sure. And but to that point, I mean, the stuff that you get out of it of going through tough moments like that, it really sharpens you. Yeah,
It does.
which is really fascinating. So I like that. So well, thank you for sharing that, Javi.
Yeah. No. I mean, definitely. I hope it can help someone out there. But even if you come up to an obstacle, I mean, it's just a matter of overcoming it, climbing the mountain.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay. So what's something you're currently going through?
It's not. I mean, it's semi me directly. I don't know people out there, but I'm going through potty training.
For the little one, right?
So it's
Not you,
it's
right?
like it's with me, but not like me directly.
Yeah.
Um, but so my kid, he's kind of mastered peeing in the potty already, which is fantastic, right? Like, let's
Yeah.
do it. Um, Going number two is a little bit of the issue.
Mhm.
So I mean, me and him, we're working on that. We try, but I guess I don't really know if that's really what you're wanting, but um, that's, I mean, the biggest struggle I can think of. I like how you mentioned earlier. I am in a very positive mindset a lot of the time. I'm that bubbly, happy person. So I wouldn't say there's anything going on with me outside of the normal, but I think a lot of people might be able to relate to something like that. I don't know. I don't know your viewer, I guess,
Yeah. No, it's a real thing. Potty training's a big deal.
it is
How old is he?
2.5.
Okay, yeah, it's that age for sure.
Coming up to 3, actually. Closer to 3 because he turns 3 in June.
Yeah. I've heard boys are more difficult than girls when it comes to potty training.
That's what I'm hearing too.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
it is.
I was gonna say for me, we were blessed because it just kind of like our daughter when she got old enough, it's like she just learned. Like it's just like she used to just kind of watch her mom, and then she just figured out it was like we didn't have to put a lot of work into it. So I'm like, well, I'm grateful for that. But I've heard tons of horror stories essentially where it's like, oh no, it all over the place. It's all over. You
It
know?
is. It is. And we're trying to get him to be able to get into preschool in August, but he needs to be fully potty trained. So we're like,
Mhm.
all right, we don't have much longer. Let's get it.
You
Which I
got
mean,
it.
it's great. If he doesn't get in right now, I'm not going to be too bummed at all. But I would like to see it. It's
Yeah.
just nice
Oh,
to see them go through those milestones.
exactly. Well, it's August. You got plenty of time. That's like the motivation you need to like, let's get it done.
Exactly. Yes, I
There you
love it.
go. Okay. So what's a skill or talent that you could share with us?
I thought about this too.
Hmm.
When you sent me those questions, and took me a while to get to this, but I am I'm good on the grill.
Okay.
I
Tell
can
us
you
more.
give me like anything on the grill and I can do it.
Okay.
Um I don't know if it was one of your questions, but like honestly, like if there was a question like what would you do besides what you were doing now? My goal would be to like be running my own food truck. I
Mm.
don't know about restaurant, but I think like a food truck with a specific like lunch dinner menu, like that would be like an ultimate like goal for me one day.
Okay. What kind of food?
American, I guess, kind of like the wings and stuff, but I can go all over. I always say my specialty is wings. I marinate them in something I'm not going to give out my secret recipe,
Okay, good,
but I
good.
marinate them in something that I've never heard of anyone use. And I actually brought wings to my parents' Christmas neighborhood bash type deal. My parents' neighborhood is like very close.
Uh-huh.
Um, so they always host something. And I heard a lot of compliments and people asking who did the wings. And so
Mm,
it was very like satisfying, gratis to hear. So wings, I say, would be my specialty. Steak is right up there though. Wings and steak
mm.
are my top things to grill.
Oh, I like that. It sounds good. Okay, so am I gonna get to try these wings one day?
If you want, I mean,
Dude, I
I,
totally want.
I don't
It's
see
just if you're offering, I'm
I
game.
don't see hey, if when next time I do my wings, because they're good reheated too, and
Okay.
you can taste still like what I marinate. Yeah,
Okay.
next time I do wings, I'll bring some for you for sure.
Oh, dude, I'm stoked. I'm stoked. Okay. And then what's your favorite steak to cook?
Ribeye.
Okay.
I like ribeye. I know some ribeyes can be pretty thin and pretty like easy, you could say, to cook. Um, but I'm a guy that doesn't mind like fat pieces in their steak. So
Hmm.
ribeye has quite a few of those compared to like a strip or something. Um, so ribeyes
Okay.
is my steak to cook for sure. As
Okay.
much as
Have you done a tomahawk yet?
I have not. I've not cooked a steak with a bone, but my girlfriend for Father's Day got me like a dry aged wagyu ribeye, and
Wow.
it's like yay thick.
Uh-huh.
It was like as big as my head. It felt like
Uh-huh.
each one was $100. She accidentally got two of them.
Oh no.
Um, so we cooked the one for Father's Day, of course, and I didn't know how I felt about it at the time, but we froze the other one. I'm sure I'm going to hear plenty of like, you should never do that. Which I know, like, I didn't want to, but it was the best steak I've ever had in my life. It melted
Oh.
in my mouth. I cooked it perfectly. Medium rare is a perfect steak for me.
Hmm.
And even the one that we froze and recooked, it didn't lose any of that tenderness. It melted in our mouths. It still did exactly what it was meant to do. So, which was
Yeah.
satisfy my belly.
Dude, that's awesome. I had Wagyu actually only one time in my life, and it was at a buddy's house, and he's known for cooking steaks and stuff. And I remember, yeah, I remember it being amazing. But yes, very expensive. Wagyu is not cheap.
No, it is not. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah, try cooking a tomahawk. It's basically a thick ribeye with a bone. And I went through a little time in my life where I kept buying those and I would just cook them over and over. And dude, those things turned out so good. And I don't have a grill, and I was just doing my stovetop and in the oven. It still was amazing. So
Oh,
I can't imagine if it was on a grill, like that probably would have been, whew, even better. And I can't even imagine it being better. So you got to try it.
and I don't think my grill's big enough for a tomahawk.
No,
I,
I'm
I
sure it
just have
is.
this little like, yeah, so it's just like a tailgate grill. Propane is what my preferred choice is. Um, but it's not very big. It has like two little handles. I can carry it shoulders width apart. So I definitely need like a Blackstone or something like that in my near future,
Uh, there we go.
just to elevate the game. Maybe get into
Yeah.
some smoking. I'd like to learn to truly like smoke meat too.
Yeah, yeah, smoked meat's awesome.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. So now what's something that you're learning about currently that you'd like to teach us?
I don't know if there's truly anything right now. Um, which I know they say if you're not learning, like like what are you doing? There's plenty of like other sayings for it, but I don't know if I'm doing really anything. Fatherhood, I mean, having my 2.5-year old kind of controls a lot of my life. Um, so I'm just kind of navigating that. At one point before I had him, I was coaching a variety of different ages in like football, basketball, soccer. Um, so I was always learning a lot then with like teaching them new techniques and stuff that were coming out. I think that's what I'm most excited for as my kid gets older is to get back into coaching and kind of being the one to like relearn all of those strategies and to teach him that. So yeah, it may not be the best answer for you,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
that's kind of what I got for you.
Yeah, exactly. That's the honest answer, right? And that's important. So,
Yeah.
right. So we're learning about coaching, and then now I mean, honestly, you mentioned it earlier, right? You're learning how to help potty train your kid right now, right? So that's a little bit. But now, if there was something specific, and I'll switch up this question a little bit, but what is something you'd like to learn about that you haven't learned about yet?
How to maintain landscaping is basically what I'm going to
Okay.
broaden that answer.
Okay.
Um, Landscaping might seem very odd, but my girlfriend and I bought a house a little over a year ago now. We love it. It's been great, but we're coming up to our second spring summertime, and I just like better grass, some things removed.
Hmm.
And if I knew more about landscaping, lawn care, just in general, I think that would help. So, you know, you might have just got me to say what I'm gonna be learning
There
is
we go.
about that. I don't see why I can't start doing YouTube videos and things about what people say. So you actually might have just answered the previous question. It's I'm not doing it yet, but I probably will be doing that now that we
Yeah.
actually talk about it.
Good, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And YouTube is the perfect place to learn. I learn things all the time through that. Okay. Sweet. Okay. When I see you around the office, I'm gonna have to ask you how the lawn care is going.
Quiz me on different things. I'll give you like the flashcards, like ask me this randomly.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Hey, I'll help you. Yeah. Flashcards.
That's awesome.
There we go. Okay. So what are you doing for fun right now?
For fun. Primarily I just play video games outside of like it's getting nicer here in like Kansas. We're able to be outside. The days are longer. Um, so me and my kid are outside all the time. He has a little remote control Jeep that we do up and down the block. Um, so playing with him is what I like to do for fun. Another thing, like I don't mind hopping on the grill. That's
Hmm.
always a great time for me. And then video games. I'm pretty nerdy, so
Hmm.
that and March Madness just ended. Getting into college basketball is a great pastime. I'm a KU fan, and normally KU does well, but the season didn't go as great for them. But I always love watching the March Madness tournament and things too.
Yeah, nice. So what games you playing right now?
Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. That is like a role playing night game. You like
Okay.
medieval ages.
Okay.
That's super fun. And then other games that I play on my free time are NCAA football, the new one that just came out, and Red Dead Redemption 2. I like playing being a cowboy too.
Is that like a past life thing? Like, were you a cowboy in a past life?
I think so. I would say
Oh yeah.
cowboy, knight,
Yeah.
maybe nobility back in
Yeah.
the day. But no, that's just things I like to do. I don't know if the cowboying is Yellowstone, and those spin-offs are like one of my favorite series I've been watching.
Hmm.
Um, so maybe it's all connected in some way. But eventually, me and my girlfriend would like to buy like land and like not totally live like off grid,
Hmm.
but be able to do some stuff like that. Maybe have some wild animals like that.
Some horses?
I don't. Horses are expensive, so I'll start with chickens. We all
Okay,
know the
there you go.
price. We all know the price of eggs right now, which is not fun. Uh, but
Uh,
so we'll start with chickens, and then we'll go from there.
well, man, you can't ride a chicken.
No, you can't. But I don't know if I'll be able to ride a horse. All right, we don't know.
What?
Ideally, it would be a lot of land, but never know.
Okay,
I
I
bet
dig
there are a
it.
lot to take care of too. So
Oh, I'm
a
sure. I
gator might
just
be just okay.
yeah, well, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, so this is one of my favorite questions. So we've covered quite a bit today already, but this question's cool because what I want you to do is I want you to think about from the time you were born to now. If you were to write a story or part of a story, what is it? What would that story be called?
You know what? I'm gonna have it be called what I have on myself, and I'll have my book be called Ambition.
Oh, it's
I
funny. I had a feeling that's where you were going to go with this. I like that.
re-
Okay.
that is a great question, but after like thinking about it, I would say it's still what best suits everything that I go
Mhm.
through. Still, just having that ambition to go through, keep going on.
Okay. I like that. Okay. Ambition. Short and sweet.
Short and sweet, right?
Short and sweet.
It
Yeah.
kind of explains itself, but yet leaves the reader to want to know more.
Exactly. It makes for a really good YouTube thumbnail too, because you can make the letters bigger. When people have these super long stories, I got to make like way too, like the lines to
Oh,
put
is
on
that
there.
what you
It
got the
becomes
comments?
small font. Yeah, yeah. So what I do is people's stories are what I always call the name of the episode. So it keeps it people guessing. So that's everybody's story. So if you ever look back at all the episodes and look at the titles of them, that's the story they picked.
That's awesome. Okay, that's a great way to like have. No, I like it. That's smart.
Sweet. I thought so.
I knew I had to be creative in some way, right?
I dig it. Okay, so we have two questions left. So this next one is basically just, it's not necessarily a question, but it's anything else that you want to share with the audience that we haven't shared. This is also the part where you can promote anything you want to promote. If you have a business or socials or anything you can promote, this is kind of like your 15 minutes of fame. If you want to take it, this is your time.
Um, I don't really have a whole lot. Um, I will say, man, one thing I miss that I used to do was coaching.
Mhm.
I took a lot of pleasure in seeing those athletes grow their talents. Um, I coached flag football from I think they were first grade till third grade. Then they started playing tackle football.
Mhm.
A lot of them are in junior high now, so it's like really nice to see that. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. Definitely recommend trying to do coaching for people. It's great. I mean, that was one of my favorite things. It's no longer an organization, but Elevate. As I'm wearing the shirt, I'm not gonna. This was the organization. It was here in Olathe, was where the guy who started it was. He moved to Texas to better further his song. His son's an amazing athlete. So
Okay.
yeah, I mean, if anything, I'd say try to get involved with that. It helps you get involved with the community too, which I like doing. Uh, Hope to do more eventually when I'm able to, if I'm able to, and start coaching again.
Yeah. So you want people to reach out to you for coaching?
If they're around in the Kansas City area and they have an athlete that needs anything. I mean, I have coaching experience. I've done stuff, so if they need anything, I'm here. But if your kid's around 2.5, I'll be coaching soon. Maybe I start my own organization too.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
So where can they find you then if they want to ask you about coaching?
You can find me on Instagram at hobby7, and I'll send it to you if you want to include it below. I mean, that's what they
I'll do
can.
that.
I'm not sure if there's an
Perfect.
underscore in there or not. I can't, like, yeah, that might be getting two socials confused, but
Okay.
yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, I'll put it below.
Okay.
Okay. And then so this is one of my favorite parts of the podcast is this is where you get to create a question for the next guest and then you get to answer the question from the previous guest. So this is the question that you don't know that I didn't give you homework on. So are you ready?
Sure.
Yeah, here we go. So this question is if you could put one sentence on every billboard in the world, what would it say?
Sentence or phrase or doesn't matter.
Sentence or phrase is fine. On every
Um,
billboard in the world.
I'm very positive. I truly believe in mental health also. Um, I'll say that. So if anything, I'll just keep going or like you're loved, something like that. Maybe just keep going, period. You're loved, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
Um, yeah, I truly believe in mental health, and there is a LSU. I don't know if you heard, but there's a old LSU football player, not old, but he got into an accident, fled the scene. The person died who he wrecked into, and that person actually just committed suicide because he just
Uh,
couldn't handle it. I didn't know him or anything, but it's just a loved person is only a call away. So
yeah.
yeah,
Okay. No, I like that. I like that. It's very, very uplifting.
I
That's
think
good.
like I try.
I like that.
I
Okay.
feel like uplifting might also be like the name of the title.
Uplifting. Okay. So then what question do you want to leave for the next guest?
I'm gonna say I don't know how I really want to word it, but if you could be doing anything else right now, what would it be? Not like outside of this, possibly like career wise, job wise. What would you rather be doing now, or like what is your current goal or aspiration? Kind of like that.
Okay. So if you could do anything else for a career, what would it be?
Yeah.
You were thinking, okay.
Or like your dream, yeah.
Oh, well, wait, what were you gonna say? What would be your dream career, your dream job?
Yeah, I think that works better than like if there was like anything else you could be
Okay.
doing now. What would it?
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because then it might just be something similar. I think dream broadens that.
Okay. So what would be your dream job, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. I like that. Okay, sweet. Okay, so Javi, anything else you want to share with the audience?
I don't think so, but let's get those views up. Come on.
Yeah. Okay,
No.
cool, man. Well, Javi, it was nice having you on here. I'm glad that we made the time to do it. And I, like I said already, I love the fact that it was literally the easiest conversation I've ever had on this podcast of like, hey, you want to do the podcast? Yep. Tell me when. Sick. Okay. It was so good.
That can happen quick, but it was a
It
good
did.
time.
It did. Okay, cool. Well, again, thank you so much. And I'll see you around the office. Okay.
Hey, definitely, Ricky.
Okay, cool. It's nice chatting. I'll see you later, Javi.
All right, have a good one.